So I just saw the Fox News on TV.
The United States just attacked Venezuela's capital.
Venezuela with 300 billion barrels of oil was the red line. Venezuela has this freaking giant, vast ocean of oil, right? Like, what are we gonna do? Go in and seize all their oil?
It's all distraction.
And that's gonna like devalue the dollar. We're going to use the stablecoin, the USD1. So it creates this digital toll booth.
This feels like one of those things that happens in the background while everybody else is looking over here.
All right, here we go. January 7th. We're just a few days past January 3rd, which was the day that we decided to go into Venezuela and snatch Nicolas Maduro.
That was crazy.
That was wild, dude.
We were all at work. We were on shift. I walked out in the morning. You were off.
Yeah.
I walked out to the day room to get some coffee, like first thing, and I saw the news. I was like, out of my mouth, I was, whoa.
Yeah.
We did what?
I saw that. I'm like, wow, dude. We cannot call it a kidnapping. It was not a kidnapping.
Well, he's not a kid.
They apprehended him.
It's a presidential napping.
Apparently, the BBC was all over the reporters. Don't call it a kidnapping.
Really?
Don't call it, telling everybody in the newsroom, don't call it a kidnapping. I mean,
well, wasn't the justification that he was a criminal? So it was like an arrest almost?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So, Operation Midnight Hammer. Yo. All right. Midnight Hammer.
We're going to call it Operation Midnight Hammer.
So January 3rd, 2026, U.S. Special Forces capture President Nicolas Maduro in a spectacular assault.
Is that a quote? You have that in quote?
Well, yeah. The official narrative, just like you mentioned, this was a counter-narcotics operation to bring an indicted kingpin of a vast criminal network to justice. Okay.
Shit was wild.
So no U.S. forces were harmed during this operation.
No, because we showed up in the middle of the night, dropped a bunch of bombs, and helicoptered out of there.
There was a former CIA agent on one of the shows I was watching, and he said that this 100% had to be a bit of an inside job because they went in, like the weather broke, full moon. He's like, you just don't do those things.
You're saying the kidnapping
the
Sorry,
apprehension.
you're saying the apprehension was possibly an inside job?
Like they had inside info because the dude apparently lives on a military base.
Oh.
So you're not coming onto a military base without like.
So somebody sold him out.
There was no anti-aircraft stuff going on, like nothing. No choppers taken down. They weren't taking nothing.
Yeah, and you'd think they'd pick something up on radar or something. I'm not a military guy, but I saw the videos of all the helicopters flying around. Like,
yeah.
You don't not know those
exactly.
There, right?
Even a country like Venezuela would know that that's happening. So there had to be. This is a highly coordinated effort. Obviously, they probably had CIA agents on the ground. They had assets, and they had knowledge as to where he was going to be, where they could go, where they couldn't,
that's
to
wild.
Do this safely. As far as military operations go, badass.
This was like maybe the first instance of anything like this ever happening in my lifetime. I'm 30.
Oh yeah, so
since 95.
The Bin Laden raid was pretty freaking legit.
But they killed him. They didn't kidnap him and bring him back.
Right. Allegedly. I mean, they had a guy covered in rags that they threw into the ocean.
That was him.
Yeah. Yeah. So the official narrative was that he was a drug kingpin, the head of the Cartel of the Sun, right? So, yeah, the pretext was claim Maduro was the head of Cartel of the Sun. He's responsible for drugs that mostly come from a place. This is a quote, mostly come from a place called Venezuela. Donald Trump.
Yes.
So we've been over this how many times in the show?
Oh, too many.
About
it's exhausting.
The drug thing. He's the head of the Cartel of the Suns. They're trafficking fentanyl. That's why we're blowing up boats all over the Caribbean. How many times did I say that this is BS? Like the Cartel of the Suns is. I'll give you the brief history on it. During the 80s, we had the whole Iran-Contra thing going on. We were flooding Southern California with cocaine via the CIA. Well, the CIA was working with the Venezuelan National Guard to smuggle cocaine into, I believe, Honduras at the time, and then into the United States. So the DEA was trying to figure out what's going on. Why are we not being able to capture these guys? How come we show up at the airport last minute and everything's just gone? Like CIA saying you can't come here. Well, they figured out that the CIA was in on it. The DEA, I think the DEA chief resigned over it.
Really?
He's like, in protest, he's like, this is BS. Like, we're hunting these guys who are killing Americans. And it turns out the CIA is working with them. So the news story broke, I think, in the early 90s, maybe around 93. There's a piece in 60 Minutes on it. And they called them Cartel of the Suns because they had suns on their patch, their insignias. So it was kind of like journalistic shorthand for a criminal organization that's basically like, hey, governmental drug trafficking. It's not like there's a hierarchical organization happening. It's not like a traditional cartel where El Chapo's at the top and everything branches out from there. It's not like that. So they were saying he was the head of the Cartel of the Suns, which is just an insanely loose knit organization that basically describes government corruption. So we've said from the get-go, this is BS. He's not the head of some cartel. Now, is there some drug trafficking going on in Venezuela? Yes. Is Maduro a bad guy? Yes.
Also, yes.
Is he running a pretty crappy country? Yeah. Does he treat his people like crap? Yes. But the United States government is telling us that fentanyl is coming into this country. Where do we know fentanyl to come from?
China.
Precursors from China, and it comes in through our southern border. This isn't according to us, no made-up statistic. It comes from the DEA. Like, their own website says that. So they're blowing up all these boats, saying that it's fentanyl coming in, and we've kind of, I don't want to say we debunked it because I've found stuff, you found stuff from other sources, other credible sources.
Mm-hmm.
And then they switch it to, well, they're bringing in cocaine. Okay, cocaine. Well, it turns out that Venezuela does not manufacture cocaine.
No.
They do traffic some for places like Colombia and Bolivia. But even then, I think it was like 3%.
I did read that the best estimate, according to the sources I was reading online, was about 5% of the cocaine used in the United States comes here via Venezuela.
Exactly. So let's say 5% comes from Venezuela. Okay. 5%, and we're going to take over a country for 5% of, okay, I'll still go along with that. Although I'm pretty sure we don't have a cocaine problem in this country. Do we?
I don't have a cocaine
I don't have a cocaine problem either.
I can stop anytime I want. Just kidding.
Don't drug test. You don't need to drug test us.
I don't do cocaine.
No.
Not an uppers guy.
But okay, we're yeah.
Not an uppers guy.
Energy drink.
Celsius.
All right. So that was the official argument, right? So, and all of a sudden we wake up to the fact that they went in to snatch Maduro. Like, okay, we buy all their pretexts. But since those that logic doesn't add up, like we've proven that, other people have proven that. What were you going to say?
Okay, so I just saw the Fox News on TV when I walked out. There was like stuff blowing up and burning and stuff too. So it wasn't just a snatch and grab. It was
right.
More than that.
I don't exactly know what they blew up. Yeah, because there were some people in Caracas that had
fire in the sky and smoke and explosions.
Yeah, I'm wondering. So they
shock and awe, maybe
they knocked out the power at some point. So maybe they blew up a power plant. I don't really know. And maybe there was some resistance, right? I mean, that's entirely possible. But their official reasons for going in and capturing Maduro and doing a regime change don't quite add up. Like, you don't go that hard over 3% of cocaine coming into the country. You just don't do it, right?
Correct.
So because honestly, if you were going to go after a country that was smuggling cocaine into the country, you would go after Colombia and Mexico.
Right.
Those are the countries you'd go after. We didn't do that.
For what it's worth, key military targets.
Okay.
Multiple explosions. That's what we went after. So Fuerte Tiuna military complex and other installations. So we went in, captured Maduro, and also blew up a bunch of military installations.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, you probably have to take out any type of
at least to cover your escape or something.
Absolutely. Infill, exfil, like you got to make sure you're not getting your shit blown up.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's got to be other reasons. And we've always said oil, right? Oil's the reason because
that's my hunch at least.
Venezuela, I think that's a lot of people's hunch. And I mean, maybe it turns out to be true according to Donald Trump himself. But like, even then, it's just like, what are we going to do? Go in and seize all their oil? There's got to be some more stuff.
Nope, just the oil.
And the oil makes sense. They sit on the largest oil reserves in the world by a lot.
Yeah.
More than Saudi Arabia, more than the UAE, more than Kuwait, more than Canada, more than the United States. It's Venezuela.
Have you seen the video going around right now from that Jack Ryan show?
Yeah. I love that people are now getting their foreign policy information from Jack Ryan and saying, this is it.
Have you seen it though? Like,
yeah, I've seen the whole thing. I love that show, first of all.
It's a great show. It's just interesting that years ago this episode came out.
Well, it came out years ago when we were initially placing bounties on Maduro and stuff like that. And then it got me wondering, like, How much CIA is written into the Jack Ryan show?
Or just any show
Or any
about
show.
international relationships at all.
Exactly.
Shout out to my dad. He listens to the show. What up, Dad?
Shout out, Dad.
He is not part of that mindset at all.
Yeah.
But I sent him this clip, and I was like, really kind of makes you wonder, huh?
Do,
He goes,
do you do you think that they might have some script writers at the CIA?
Weird. Yeah. Anyway.
Well,
yeah.
who does Jack Ryan? Is that Tom Clancy? I think it's Tom Clancy.
Who the writer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Tom Clancy.
Who I'm pretty sure has been known to get plots and stuff directly from CIA. Like
he's
works
been
with
writing
yeah.
CIA stuff forever.
spy novels forever.
Yeah.
So he might have a connection or two.
Yeah.
And someone's like, hey, write that, Jack.
It's so funny.
Or Tom,
Jack
sorry.
Ryan's in this. He's like, no, they got all the oil in the world. They got all the gold in the world. And it's totally like, you know what?
It's like, yeah,
I'm
they
not gonna
do.
play.
They do.
It's so random. He's asking in the clip, he's asking all of his students, who's the biggest threat to national security? China and Russia, North
Iran,
Korea.
yeah.
Unprompted, he goes, what about Venezuela? And everybody's like, what do you mean, what about Venezuela? Yeah, anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
It is good. If you haven't seen it, we can't play it on here, but go ahead and watch it. It is an interesting clip.
Kind of weird.
So oil makes a lot of sense, but even then, I'm like, we're not just going to go in and secure the oil fields forever and think like everything's going to be hunky dory. Like there's got to be something else. And so I started seeing some other analysts talking about it, and this made a lot of sense to me. So this clip right here. So
Is that a Bitcoin symbol?
it is,
Oh boy.
but it's not necessarily Bitcoin. But so it has to do with the petrodollar.
What's that?
The petrodollar is the current, it's basically ensures that all oil in the world is traded in US dollars. Okay? All oil in the world is traded in US dollars.
How long has that been a thing?
Since I think the beginning of time.
That's wild.
That's the way it works.
That's
Okay?
right. You know what? And it should be traded in American dollars.
So yeah, the petro system is the global oil must be traded in US dollars. This creates a permanent global demand for the US dollar. This allows the US to fund its $35 trillion debt by selling treasury bonds. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Enter the BRICS. Have you heard of the BRICS countries?
Is that yes? For whatever reason, I thought there was an X in there instead of a CS.
BRICS is Brazil,
Okay.
Russia, India, China, South Africa.
Okay.
Other countries have joined: UAE, Saudi Arabia, and there's a few other ones in there.
You got too many letters now.
But listen to all those big oil countries now joining.
Yeah.
UAE, Iran's in there.
Yeah.
Or is it Iran or India? I can't remember either one. And Saudi Arabia now is joined. Okay.
Okay.
China was in talks with Venezuela to start trading in BRICS. BRICS is so the BRICS isn't a competitor to the dollar yet, but they're trying to be.
What is a BRICS unit? What is that?
So the BRICS unit is what they're developing, the alternative to the US dollar.
So it's currency.
It's currency. The BRICS units countries, their whole purpose is to try to come up with an alternative system to US power outside of the US dollar.
Okay.
So they are trying to challenge the US.
Okay.
All right. It makes a lot of sense for them because they're tired of getting pushed around by the United States.
And obviously we live in the United States, and so I'm like,
when we control the world currency, it kind of works out good for us.
Yeah.
But when you live in China or any of those other
I can
places,
see how we
it
can be
kinda
seen
sucks.
as the country that's kind of pushing everybody around.
Yeah. And I mean,
Because you kind of need oil.
I'm a US supremacist, so like, I'm
Oh,
like,
hell
okay,
yeah.
yeah, cool.
It's the
Yeah.
greatest country on earth, baby.
Yeah. So I don't want those dirty, filthy commies having control of the world's oil and
Don't need your
currency
red
and all
dollar.
that stuff. But when you start talking to Venezuela and saying that, hey, come into the BRICS country and start trading in the unit, like all of a sudden the United States is, huh?
Can they not just trade both?
No.
It has to be.
It's like one or the other. That's just the way it's working. So yeah, basically Venezuela has this freaking giant, vast ocean of oil, right? Again, we said more than anybody else.
Yeah,
and if they're going to, I don't want to say give it, but if they're going to join all these other nations, now you have control of the vast majority of the world's oil, and you can trade in your own currency. And then that's going to like devalue the dollar and spike inflation in the United States, right? So the BRICS unit's a new digital currency. It's launched by the BRICS Alliance, designed to allow nations to buy and sell oil outside of the US dollar system. Venezuela, with 300 billion barrels of oil, was the red line. And the response? Go into Caracas at 2 a.m. on January 3rd and take Nicolas Maduro. By the way, the day before Nicolas Maduro was meeting with Chinese emissaries in Caracas. They were still there when we invaded. So, I mean, this was happening right then, right now.
Dude, it's just so crazy to think that. So who replaced, what happens now is my question.
I'll tell you what
because I
happens now.
see everybody online, oh, we're going to war. It's like, but like, are we though? Do you think we're going to war?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we can talk a little bit more about that,
either.
But there's more to this system.
Okay.
So once you've decided that you now have control of all the oil in Venezuela and that it will continue to be, which now we do, and is going to be traded in US dollars, like how is that currency going to be handled on the world stage? Who's going to be the bank, the toll keeper, so to speak? Enter World Liberty Financial. Do you know what World Liberty Financial is?
I do not.
So it's a cryptocurrency and stablecoin platform with deep connections to the Trump administration and family. And I would say it's not just deep connections. It's owned by the Trump family. All right.
You're telling me that the Trump family owns the
WLF
cryptocurrency platform that's going to be used to trade the Venezuelan oil that we just captured.
So their flagship product is USD1. It's a digital token pegged 1-to-1 with US dollars, and it's already the 5th largest stable coin in the world.
How come I've never heard of it?
Because why would you unless you're really into crypto?
This feels like one of those things that happens in the background while everybody else is looking over here.
That's exactly it. And I'll tell you what they've been doing in the background. So the WLF has positioned the USD1 as the primary infrastructure for the new Venezuelan economy, leapfrogging traditional banking, right? So hey, instead of like putting all our dollars through Citibank or Chase,
right,
we're going to use the stablecoin, the USD1. So it creates this digital toll booth on the hold on, let me get to this part. So now what we have is a vision of turning physical assets into tokenized assets. So basically, any mineral in Venezuela or the oil, the gas, any of that is going to be tokenized. Basically, so Zach Witkoff, does Witkoff?
It rings a bell.
So Zach Witkoff is the son of Steve Witkoff, Trump's golf buddy and the guy who's going all over the world trying to create peace treaties on Trump's behalf. So Zach Witkoff is the CEO of World Liberty Financial, right? And they've actively been developing plans to tokenize Venezuelan commodities like oil and gas. They've been working on this for a little while. So basically, every time gas gets sold, every time gold gets sold, or any mineral inside Venezuela, they get a little half a percentage or whatever that is. Do you remember the movie Office Space? We're like, hey, we'll just skim a 100,000th of a cent off every transaction. That's what they're doing now. So that's what this is. So they're going to be able to take a fraction of a percent off every single transaction in and out of Venezuela for eternity.
Makes me feel gross.
This is the Trump organization doing this. Like, and Trump says, hey, it's not me, it's my sons. They're in crypto. Sounds like a good plan.
It's like you're all the same family, though.
Yeah, he says he has no idea what's going on with the crypto. And maybe he really doesn't know the ins and outs, but he likes to pardon people who are involved in crypto and have been convicted of things. So like, there's this whole big pay-to-play thing. So he passed the Genius Act right when he got into office, and that basically set like the rules for crypto. And basically it means there are no rules, right?
Perfect. So,
and right after that, the UAE, through their sovereign wealth fund, MGX, they injected $2 billion into stablecoin right away. Okay, here's $2 billion. And there's this whole thing with a pardon that goes into that. Like, anyway, we won't get into that. We'll try to stick with Venezuela. But like, it's just beyond corruption. So basically, they're going to capture the market, use oil to kind of dollarize with the WLF, the USD1 platform, and it's going to be like the mandatory way that you sell oil and gold in and out of Venezuela, right? I mean, it's all right there. None of this is made up. It's not fiction. This is happening. This is their plan.
So, ethics aside, what does this change, do you think, for the American consumer? What does this mean for me?
Nothing.
Is my gas going to get cheaper?
Why would it? Think about this. This is the part that drives me insane is you see all these people like Tim Pool, like tons of free gas coming, 17 trillion barrels of free gas coming to the United States. Why in the Why in the
Say
fuck?
it, John.
Why in the fuck would our oil be free just because we went to Venezuela? Why? Tell me why you think oil should be free now.
Because this is America.
Because it's America, right? And they're American oil
That's my
companies,
oil
damn it.
now.
You know what the oil companies don't, transnational oil companies don't give a shit about American citizens. You know who they care about? Themselves and their shareholders and making more money for their shareholders. They're not going to go into Venezuela, invest tens of billions of dollars in infrastructure, and then just give it to the United States for free. Trump himself already said we have, I think, 30 million barrels coming in from Venezuela, and it's going to be sold at market price to the United States. So right there, it's not free. We're paying market price for it. It's not going to change anything.
Allow me to make the other side's case.
Please do.
Because all this happened, and I'm thinking all the same stuff you're thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, what happened to no new wars? What happened to peacetime? What are we doing? And so I jumped on and I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can justify this.
Okay.
Like, make it make sense to me so that I'm not upset about it.
Okay.
First of all, I looked into what constitutes an act of war, what doesn't. For what it's worth, I don't know if it has been officially like declared one way or the other. It's only been 4 days, but all signs point to everybody except for the United States. Because like, why would we say, yeah, that was an act of war? All signs point to major global communities are going to call this an act of war. You can't just go in and take someone's president, even if he's a criminal. Like I've done a ton of research on like what does that mean and what makes this all this stuff. It sounds to me like at the very least Venezuela is going to declare it an act of war, but it's pointing to like maybe the UN, maybe other countries.
Do you want to hear something crazy about that? One of the reasons we say that we went in and grabbed him is he's an illegitimate president. Like, okay, he rigged the election. Right? Donald Trump said that Joe Biden rigged the election. So would that give China the right to come in here and snatch Joe Biden out of the White House?
The precedents that this sets. That's scary. For what it's worth, go ahead.
No, say the precedent that it sets is all of a sudden China invading Taiwan. They're like, okay, you have no moral authority to stop me. Russia going in, taking more of Ukraine. You have no moral authority to stop me.
Now, what we're doing is now it's like, well, now if you're a more powerful country than the other country, you
might
can go
makes
in
right.
And, you know what I mean? For what it's worth, reasons that were given as to like why this is okay and why this is quote unquote good. I'll read off my list. So he was formally indicted by the United States Department of Justice. So he's a criminal in the legal eyes of the United States. He had charges against him. We had legal authority to go arrest him,
which
on an
always
international
blows
level.
my mind that U.S. law says we can go grab him.
Isn't that crazy?
And did you see one of the charges against him was having machine guns?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're the leader of a country. Yeah, you're going to have a machine gun.
Can't have
and
that.
who says you can't have a machine gun in Venezuela? Like you
can't have those.
Like you can't have him in New York where he's being held right now. But what are you talking about?
For what it's worth, Venezuela's internationally. So basically, for everything I've looked up, everything I've read, I've understood it to be not so much about, I mean, all the oil stuff aside, because that's what I agree with you. I think that's the actual thing. But officially, I'm like, please just let me try and make the case for this.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm one of many Trump voters who are just, it's like month after month. It's like, come on, dude.
Make it make sense.
You're not making it easy to defend you at this point. He was indicted by us. Venezuela's internationally isolated, so it was more of like it's not like a bordering or neighboring country is going to fucking jump in the jets and come. You know what I mean? Like no one nearby was likely to help. We already labeled him a narco-terrorist, like you said. And there was really minimal economic retaliation risk to us. It's not like what are they going to do? Embargo us? Like, it's not going to happen. So essentially, what I kind of gleaned from all of this was it was more of like an opportunity and to send a message and more of we can do this, so we're gonna do this.
Yeah, so
that's kind of what I gathered.
So if you want to make the argument that
whether or not it's right or not, I'm not saying that.
I wish they would be more up. So, okay, let's back up a little bit. The whole drug thing, like, you just lied to us. Like, you just did. Like,
I think so.
Even according to your own government statistics, you were making this up.
Yeah.
You were feeding it to people who were just gullible enough
Yep.
to not read anything or watch anything past the 3-minute Fox News clip.
Mhm.
And you're good. You're going to listen to Stephen Miller rant on there for 2 minutes and sound all powerful and badass. And that's all you're going to go with instead of looking into it further. You really need to read, people. You need to read. You need to watch other stuff. Get off of Fox News. Get off of MSNBC, whatever you're on.
Get off of any mainstream media.
Or stay
outlet
on
at
it,
this
but at
point.
least get balance.
Or the problem I have is, like you're saying, go beyond the headline, man. Like, do your own research.
Yeah, I know that's such a scary term.
Such a bugaboo these days, but like, yeah, do your own, like, look into it, man.
Yeah. So
At least before you go, if you want to not look into anything and have your own opinions and whatever, fine. But if you're getting to the point where you're talking about, you're trying to change opinions, like, be informed, like, know what
a
you're
little
talking
bit,
about.
yeah.
Listen to the fireside.
So one of the things you mentioned was just because we can do it.
We can. Well, for what it's worth, the Chat GPT breakdown was we can. It's cheap and it sends a message. Is what I got out of it. That was
break down a few of those reasons. Like, I'm kind of thinking in my head. So break down a few of those reasons again.
So he was formally indicted by us.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a criminal in the legal eyes of the United States.
Okay.
Venezuela is internationally isolated in terms of allies, plus people who would like be enemies with us. So we knew that we could get in and out without like.
Okay.
It's not like going into. It's not like going into France.
That's what
when
I
you
want
got
to touch on.
England next door.
And you mentioned
Maybe.
sanctions
I'm
and
not
stuff
good at
like that
math.
too. So I guess a couple things there. They are internationally isolated partially due to us. We've sanctioned them.
Yes.
So put it this way. When the United States and all its allies, we put sanctions on you, that means the West at large, Europe, North America, we're not going to do business with you, right? So
Right.
who are you going to reach to in those times? You're going to reach to enemies of the United States just to survive. You're going to go looking at China. You're going to go looking at Russia, Iran, all these competing countries to the United States just so you can survive as a nation. Now, again, Maduro is a bad guy, treated his people like crap. I'm not trying to justify that at all. But it's not like he's so evil that he just wants to go and join these countries so we can dominate the United States. Like we often force countries into other people's hands. It's just the way it works. And you mentioned sanctions. I think that has a lot to do, again, with the petrodollar, because when you sanction people, like, you're limiting their funds. Now, if they're a member of this big, powerful BRICS nation, they control all the money in the world. And now the BRICS unit is what the world financials trading on instead of the US dollar. Your sanctions don't mean anything.
Right.
It's like, oh, great, you're going to sanction me? Oh, sorry, I don't get the mighty US dollar that's collapsed due to inflation now. So you have to kind of go in there to keep the US dollar propped up as the world currency reserve trading in the petrodollar. That's how our economy is propped up all throughout the world. So I think that makes a lot of sense when it comes to the sanctions.
Do you want more reasons?
Yeah, keep them
I'm gonna
going.
keep going. Scroll back up. I was looking up other stuff. So international, we labeled him a narco terrorist, which if you really like kind of go back. So Trump's been president for what? Just over, are we in
We're in January, but almost a year.
Almost a whole year.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, man, but I got some weird tingles in the back of my neck when he started labeling, like, we're going to say that drug traffickers are terrorists now. Like that, we talked about on the show, like that kind of legally opens up a new pathway for military intervention, CIA intervention, international intervention.
We can do a lot of scary things to terrorists.
Right. So, because like one of the points that was raised in my research was he was already labeled a narco terrorist. Was like, yeah, but yeah, we did that. Like we changed the definition so that it would apply to him to make what we just did easier and legal.
Yes.
And then minimal economic retaliation to the United States. Like there's not anything that they're going to do, especially after we go in there and control everything, that's going to hurt us financially.
No. One thing too, like this is kind of like a 2-for-1 play almost. Like the United States has had a grudge against Cuba forever. They're a little communist regime sitting there in the Caribbean, right? One thing that's keeping their economy afloat is they get tons of discounted oil from Venezuela.
Well,
That kind of keeps their economy.
Not anymore.
In return, Venezuela would get doctors and like they would get military assistance from Cuba. Like I don't want to say assistance in the traditional sense, like they're sending tanks and jets because they don't have them. But intelligence, like Cuba's had a lot of intelligence for years and years going way back. They have know-how. So they would give them that. They would send doctors over there. They would take care of Venezuela in that way, and Venezuela would give them oil in return. I think it was what do they call it? Like, I think Doctors for Oil program might have been something like that, something very simple. But that keeps Cuba afloat. We've cut that off completely. Cuba, very shortly, will collapse. I'm not making this prediction like I have any major insight. This is coming from economists that know. Like,
I'm going to mark your prediction though, January 7th.
yeah, Cuba will collapse.
Cuba will collapse.
Cuba's next. It's going to happen. We're not going to have to do anything militarily. It's just
Meaning the timeline is on that.
Just think about maybe. Just think about when it becomes an unstable country. It's completely destabilized now. Now we have to go in. We have to go in. We have to save the Cuban people. Their country's collapsing. They have a corrupt government. Look at what's happening. There's protests in the street.
Well, we better import them all here too, so we can take care of their
Meanwhile,
people.
their economy has been better because they're staying afloat with this Venezuelan oil, getting money into the country.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So it will collapse. Again, not my prediction.
What's her name? Didn't get at least the interim president is Delcy Rodriguez.
Yeah, she's the vice president or whatever they call it in Venezuela.
Wasn't it Machado was the last
Maria
name?
Corina Machado. She was the one who won the Nobel Peace Prize, and that was who they were kind of propping
That's who we
up.
thought was going to take it, but it's not. Or at least, I mean, it's only been a couple of days.
So yeah, it's only been a couple of days, but like
Trump says that we're in charge. Real quote.
Everybody that knows anything inside Venezuela, not me, I'm not saying this. This is people who know Venezuela say that Machado has no legitimacy inside of Venezuela. That people already think of her as a CIA asset. So putting her in charge is not going to lead to stability, right? So then they look at
but that's kind of isn't that our point? Aren't we trying to destabilize?
No,
them?
we want it stable now, so the companies that are in there can thrive.
Sure,
we want it to be stable. We need it stable for business now. It's going. You listen to Trump talk now; it's all about business.
Business time, baby.
So yeah, Trump said right away,
I'm gonna come.
Don't come.
Don't come.
But Trump said, yeah, we control it. We control Venezuela. Like, dude, what does that mean? Because number one, the vice president was Machado's handpicked number two. Like, she is Maduro. Yeah. Everything inside the Venezuelan government,
that's what I heard,
is still in place.
Nothing changed. We just got the king. We got the figurehead.
Yeah.
So what was the point?
Good question.
You know what I mean? Because
like,
you're
honestly,
totally right.
We haven't secured oil fields. We don't have troops on the ground doing anything. We just took Maduro. Now we have phone calls. It's just saying like, hey, and he basically
maybe that's all it was, man.
He basically said to them like, play ball or else.
Maybe it was a warning shot. Like I'm saying, maybe it was a, hey, look what we can do.
Maybe
you better fall in line.
That's entirely possible, and it seems likely.
It seems like it was more of sending a message than anything.
Because you really don't want to send military forces into there. Like, dude, they have like.
Plus, it costs money to do that.
They would have FARC rebels coming out of like Colombia and the jungles of Venezuela, ready to attack. Like these dudes have been waiting to pick a fight with the United States forever. Yeah. They hate us going back to the 80s.
Dude, my take on it was a pee-pee slap, is what it was. It was, hey, you better listen.
Exactly.
Because look, we'll come get you in the middle of the night and blow up a ton of shit while we're doing it.
Well, I don't know if it was Rubio or Trump said that it's what's going to happen to, or what happened to Maduro is going to happen to you, only worse.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So it's just like a threat, right?
I think that's what it was. My gut reaction was, oh my God, we're going to war with Venezuela. But in reality, dude, that war would be over in like a week. They can't resist the United States military. Unless I don't know something about Venezuela, but they don't stick out as a country that has a crazy military like we do.
Just ask yourself how quickly we took over Afghanistan. Get back to me when you figure out that.
Is that a trick question?
It's a trick question.
Because I feel like we didn't ever take over Afghanistan.
Exactly. And those are dudes in caves.
But the point wasn't to take over Afghanistan, though. That wasn't the point.
We couldn't if we wanted to. The Taliban controlled most of it even while we were there.
You think we couldn't if we wanted to? I think we could have. If the goal really was take over Afghanistan, I bet you we could have done
Insurgencies are historically
that's fair.
Very hard
Plus,
to
they're
defeat.
more motivated than our troops are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're defending your home turf. That's something different.
Look at Vietnam. Look at Korea. Look at Afghanistan.
Okay. No, I take it back.
Any number of times, Afghanistan, the Soviet Union collapsed.
Yeah, I give it to you.
Literally collapsed after that. And granted, we were funding, but it's not like we had troops on the ground in Afghanistan.
Wild.
We just gave them money.
That's so crazy.
It is crazy.
It's just crazy that this happened. Like we're 3 days into 2026, and it's for lack of a better way to phrase it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Trump's already said Greenland's next.
He has?
I don't know, was that Trump or no, that was several other people, but he mentioned it. They immediately shifted right to Greenland. We need Greenland.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, man. We live in the empire. Let's just call it for what it is. We live in the walled city. And we're trying to expand.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what I see, at least.
This is the empire of the United States.
For better or for worse.
And they keep citing the Monroe Doctrine, like this is our hemisphere. We can do whatever we want in our hemisphere. I mean, that's not what the Monroe Doctrine was. Like, I don't even think, first of all, Trump called it the Monroe Doctrines. And like we did that, except way more. We did way more than the Monroe Doctrine. Like,
that's hilarious.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Monroe Doctrine is a U.S. foreign policy principle that first articulated in 1823 by President James Monroe. It states at its core, the Western Hemisphere is off limits to further European colonization and interference, and any attempt by European powers to control or influence countries in the Americas would be seen as a hostile act towards the United States. You know who wasn't involved in Venezuela and this whole thing? Anybody from Europe.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, on its face, you can't quote that.
Well, even like Europe, like basically what it had to do, like in the beginning is Spain was losing its colonies, and they kind of figured that all the European powers are going to come in and try to like swipe them up, right?
Sure.
Is Mexico became independent. There were a couple other ones in South America that became independent, and they wanted them to stay independent so we could control them. I think the original thinking was, I think it was Madison, or was it? No, it was Monroe. I'm sorry, dude. Sorry, James. Idiot. Monroe basically was worried that other countries would come in and take over that newly freed territory before we were strong enough to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe you could cite the Monroe Doctrine saying that China and Russia were kind of getting their tentacles in there. Real quick, pull up my laptop. I just want to show you this thing that I had. I forgot to put it in there. But Trump's talking about his crypto empire. Look at his wealth in 2024, and then he takes office in 2025.
Holy moly.
All the way up to 11.6 billion.
So, but this is okay. Let's be fair here. So this is the Trump family net worth, right? It says right there, Trump family crypto fortune.
The family trust is in his name,
right? I mean,
I'm the sole benefactor.
No,
at this moment.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I don't want anybody calling us out, like. But no, holy moly, dude. So how is this any different than Trump getting up there and talking about how Nancy Pelosi makes stock trades and benefit? Like, how is this any different?
It's not, Adam.
Isn't that sad?
It is not.
You just grow up and realize that like it's a big club and you're just not in it, my friend.
It's all,
isn't that crazy?
It's all BS, dude. Like, I don't even know. I don't know, man.
I'm sure you and I are not alone in being very disillusioned over the last year or so. I don't know about you, man. I had a lot of hope of, man, it's gonna be different this time around, and he did it the first time, and now he learned, and he's gonna get in there. It's gonna be different, and it just seems to me that it's just the same old song.
I was thinking when I saw this happening in talking about the tokenizing of assets and things like that, I was like, how much is Gaza a testing ground for like what people can get away with now? They're like, oh my God, we saw what they did in Gaza, and that's on the world stage and nothing.
Now you're just being a conspiracy theorist.
I don't even know if that's conspiracy. Like, that's just my opinion. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's not a fact at all. Like, let's look at a couple, I pull up my laptop. We got a couple clips just to kind of cruise through here. Just some reactions over this. Here's one of old Pete Hegseth.
I want to emphasize that question from CNN. The question's never asked how much does it cost when they're in the Mediterranean or the Red Sea or the Indian Ocean or the Pacific.
This
now
is
that they're
in
our hemisphere.
This is about how much does it
counter cartel
cost.
mission or ensuring that an indicted individual comes to justice. Now you're asking the question of cost. It's a disingenuous question to begin with. You're trying to find any angle possible to undermine the success of one of the most historic military missions the world has ever seen. The level of sophistication that Senate just was briefed on, and the House was briefed on, a classified level, is something only the United States of America can accomplish. The world is taking notice of that. Certainly Venezuela is taking notice of that. And it continues because two oil tankers, overnight.
Did you notice how they asked, like, what is this costing the American people? Like, that was the question. What does it cost? What is this mission costing?
Dismissed.
And they always flip it to, I want everybody to notice that this is what they do. He flipped it immediately to the military. Like, you're doing anything you can to denigrate the mission and the troops. Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And nobody does that. Nobody, you will never see a reporter saying like these piece of shit soldiers out there. And they don't do that. But the politicians always do that because they think that's the smart play.
It's an emotional play.
It's to get people off the scent. It's exactly it. Like, oh, well, you're against the troops?
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
I can't believe you do that.
Shit, man. The sad thing is, these are the typical response. Okay. I'm going to just come out in front and say, I don't think left and right is what it was anymore. I don't think it is. I don't think it's been that for a while.
I don't think it's been that way for 25 years.
I would wager, what year is it? 2026? I don't think it's been that way for specifically 66 years.
66 years?
Right? Is that math right? Does that bring me back to 1960? I think that does. Exactly 1960. I don't think it's been that way for about 66 years.
1963?
Weird. But before that thought occurred to me, like this is the kind of response I would expect out of a Democrat lawmaker. like, let's switch topics here. Do you think something about abortion? And they go, well, how dare you?
You're going to assault single mothers.
Single mothers need, like, it's the same.
It's the culture shit.
Emotional play.
Exactly.
And so a clear sign that when somebody's lying or trying to stay away from the real issue here is they switch it and get emotional on you. Like if you were to ask somebody, hey man, do you really know Tim McGraw? Like, are you serious about that? And they go, how fucking dare you ask me that question? Do you know you're going to question me and my, like, no, just answer the question. Like, do you know him or not? Like, that's the same deal here where it's, how much does this cost? How dare you question the sovereignty of the United States military and our troops?
This is the most successful mission ever carried out in the world. Like, you're going to take away from that? Like,
no.
What
is it? How much it cost though?
We're never going to know.
Can I see the receipt?
He doesn't answer that.
Well, that's the point.
It's very much on the American people's mind what things cost now.
Oh my, more than ever, dude.
More than ever. So she's a reporter asking a question,
and he just jumps down her throat.
That's the way they all do. And I only want to show that just so everybody can see that that's what they do and look out for it.
What people need to be doing, man, is everybody needs to try and be more objective here. Yeah. Forget whose quote unquote side you're on and listen to the words that people are saying. How many times do I say it on the show? Words have meaning. Yeah. Words have meaning. Words have meaning. If they're not answering your question, they're not trying to tell you something else. They're trying to not answer your question.
Exactly.
That's all I will say.
Exactly. So we got one here from Steven Crowder. Yes, oil was obviously a factor. Duh. But other benefits people want to ignore include, but are not limited to, taking control of our hemisphere, check, stemming the flow of narcotics, BS, controlling migration to the United States, securing our position vis-a-vis our competitors like China and Russia. So securing our position, I think we talked about that kind of with the petrodollar and sanctions. Controlling migration. Last time Venezuela was destabilized, which in the late 2010s, I think we had like a couple million people leave Venezuela, and a lot of them came to the United States.
Good. Well, we got room.
Yeah. So as far as controlling migration, do you like they were at somebody did like a man on the street, like, hey, they were cheering in Miami, like, hey, Venezuela's free, Maduro's gone. Like, are you going to go back to Venezuela now?
Hell no.
No habla inglés.
Yeah, hell no.
They're not going back. No, they're never going back.
Speaking of some of the videos, dude,
we're going to talk about that.
All the fake stuff?
Yeah, we're getting right.
I'll hold off. By the way, I like Steven Crowder's show. I like their honesty and I like their bluntness, but lately it's been like a little too diehard Trump.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me. Is like, okay, you'll have some good takes, and then
can we just criticize a bad action?
No.
Can we just criticize what's wrong?
Well, a lot of these people, they make their money off their base. Like if their base tunes out, that they're out. Like it would be a lot easier for us to sit here and be either, diehard liberal or freaking total MAGA. We'd make a lot more money. Yeah, it would be so much easier to do that.
Maybe we should just sell out. Just kidding. The fireside always tells the truth, baby.
At least as we see it. So Glenn Greenwald, as Trump himself says, MAGA's in favor of whatever he tells them to be in favor of. So this is a quote from Trump when they were talking about, their base and how they feel about this. MAGA loves it.
No, do it in the voice.
MAGA loves it. MAGA loves what I'm doing. MAGA loves everything I do. MAGA is me. MAGA loves everything I do, and I love everything I do too.
That's like Dr. Fauci saying, I am the science.
Read that again. Dude. MAGA loves it. MAGA loves what I'm doing. MAGA loves everything I do. MAGA is me. MAGA loves everything I do, and I love everything I do too. Is that a haiku? Did he just speak in haiku? Is that some sort of little soliloquy?
For sure.
What is that?
Yeah, dude, there's a simile or something in there.
If you don't think this man is sociopathic, egomaniacal lunatic,
dude, that just comes with being a politician.
This is next level.
Yeah, that's insane.
MAGA is me. I can't even do it again.
I am the science.
This guy here posts that on page 184 of Project 2025. It calls for re-hemisphering. I read that part in Project 2025. Like you
can't do that.
We talked about this in last week's show about Project 2025. There's some real stuff in there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it's a boogeyman, but it is definitely a Democratic boogeyman. So when
for sure.
So when you mention Project 2025 to a Democrat, they lose their mind. I went in and read this. When they talk about re-hemisphering, they basically talking about trying to create more allies in our hemisphere and securing our hemisphere from China, Russia, Iran. Like, we need to be safe in our own backyard. It has no mention of like, hey, we need to go over and take over South America. It says nothing like that.
Oh, that's part of it, though.
Yeah, well, if you want to read a ton into it, like, sure. But I mean, what it actually mentions, and they're like, stop making it what it's not.
Yeah.
Here, for what it's worth, Paul Singer has donated. Let's talk about Paul Singer. I forgot to mention.
I don't know who that is.
Paul Singer. At first, he was a never Trumper, but now he donates quite a bit to Donald Trump and his causes. He just in November has become I think it's the Elliott Group, has become the proprietor of Citgo, which is a subsidiary of the Venezuelan National Oil Company.
Okay.
So now that so what happened is Venezuela, before they nationalized their oil, Citgo was operating as a subsidiary of that in the United States. That was kind of like their U.S. subsidiary. And there was no problem there. Money was flowing, oil was flowing, everything going back and forth. But when they nationalized it, it cut Citgo off from their flow, right? So they had to figure out other ways to make money. But now that it's opened back up, Citgo is all of a sudden poised to be a multi-billion-dollar company again. He just bought this because there was a ton of debt that Citgo owed, and like they were going to go under.
Yeah.
What did he know? Who's a buddy with Trump? What did he know to get in there when he did?
Kind of weird.
Somebody made a bet on Polymarket and won like $400,000 on when they were going to invade Venezuela.
Like the day was I didn't know I could bet on. I can bet on when we're going to go do America shit.
You can bet on anything now, but they made $400,000, and you can't exactly trace crypto wallets, but the best they could trace it, like it had ties to Steve Witkoff.
Huh.
Like, okay.
John, the amount of predictions we make on the show that end up coming true, maybe we should start betting on international politics. How many times do you text me something like, we said this shit last week, dude? Maybe we should throw down an episode and then immediately go place some bets real quick. Let's get nuts.
But anyway, if you want it for all the conspiracy theorists in there, if you want to throw Israel into the mix, Paul Singer's donated a total of $3 million to AIPAC since 2022, making him tied for the third largest donor. And this matters because the court-appointed special master who forced the sale of Venezuela's state-owned oil company to Singer sits on the board of directors of AIPAC. Read that again. The court-appointed special master who forced the sale of Venezuela's state-owned oil company to Singer sits on the board of AIPAC. $3 million to AIPAC, third largest donor.
Dude, stop. You're sounding like a conspiracy theorist and an anti-Semite.
There's nothing to see here.
Except anti-Semitism, so stop.
I thought this was interesting. The Epstein files will not be released in full until after Trump leaves office.
Wait, hold on. First of all, I got to ask, why are we still talking about Epstein?
Because
just as a member of the independent media, I have to ask that question.
I won't even get it.
Are we still beating that dead horse?
I won't even get into Epstein today, but then they're saying, hey, we got this whole thing going on with Venezuela. We have 2 million more files that we need to go through and redact. Like,
that's a real quote. That bottom is the.
If you want to, this is from Newsweek.
What?
This is from Newsweek. It's not like some
what
random dude on
X. Day one?
Stop it.
What?
You're not that ignorant, are you?
What happened to day one? What happened to phase? What happened to phase two? We had phase one. What happened to phase two?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, everything you're seeing on the international stage right now is because of that. I think it is. I think it's all distraction.
The right has maybe. Check this guy. This is going to be for your Nick Shirley episode. That's Mediasan. Oh, let's listen to our favorite neocon. Can we listen to our boy, Lindsey Graham?
Is that old Lindsey?
Lindsey Graham.
This fucking goofball.
Did you see him next to Trump on the airplane?
No.
He was up next to him like, here's Trump. He's like, oh yeah? Well, dude, he was.
Tell me about the minerals.
He was so giddy.
Are there going to be minerals there?
Yeah.
Change is coming to Iran. It'll be the biggest change in the history of the Mideast to get rid of this Nazi regime. To the people of Iran, help is on the way.
There's a Nazi regime in Iran? That's new to me.
Yeah. The Muslims.
There's Nazis?
The Nazi Muslims.
Amongst the Muslims?
Yeah. But he had Trump, right after Venezuela, sign a hat that said, make Iran great again. And now Lindsey Graham is doing the tour saying that we're going to Iran. Help is coming, Iran. Everyone's on notice now that Venezuela, Lindsey Graham is foaming at the mouth.
So let's backpedal a little bit.
Okay.
Now would be the time to place a hefty bet.
On Iran?
Right now.
Eesh.
Where do I bet that we're going there next?
Lindsey, call me. I got to talk.
You think there's going to be some minerals there?
I'll set you up with some male escorts. We'll go have a couple drinks. Oh, he's not gay, right? He's straight.
No, he's
Straight
totally
man.
Straight, totally. I like women.
So apparently these are, according to DropSite, the U.S. demands on Venezuela per NBC News and Reuters. So Venezuela is allowed to pump or sell oil if they expel China, Russia, Iran, and Cuba and sever economic and strategic ties with them.
This is real?
This is real.
That's a real thing we ask?
This is according to ABC.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Right, ABC reports that the Trump administration has told interim authorities in Caracas that they must meet a set of conditions before Venezuela is allowed to pump or sell more oil.
Okay, pause. So they're not pumping oil right now.
I think we made them stop.
How did we do that?
We said stop.
I did not know we had that level of influence. That's crazy. Hey,
well, when you snatch the president in the middle of the night,
dude,
you say, "Hey, you want another piece? You want some more?"
Unplugged the gas pumps for an entire country.
Yeah,
that's an immense amount of power.
It is.
That's
really
crazy.
Again, I'm an American elitist, so it's kind of badass that we wield that.
Again,
I don't like the message. I don't like everything
it's
sends.
messy. But I live inside the Capitol.
Exactly.
It's like Hunger Games. You think those crazy people like that a bunch of kids kill each other on TV every year? Maybe a couple of them do, but like they know it's wrong. But also like they live in the Capitol. Like,
life doesn't affect me too much.
Fucking good in the Capitol.
This is badass. I'm gonna wave my American flag and call it a day.
Yeah, that's right.
Number 2, partner exclusively with the United States on oil production. Look at me.
Yeah,
I am the captain. Favor the U.S. in oil sales, particularly heavy crude. Hand over control of oil logistics, including tankers and shipments, to the block deliveries to rivals. All right. Accept U.S. leverage based on financial pressure, with officials saying Venezuela has only weeks before its insolvency due to full tankers and blocked exports. So basically, since we're not letting you pump oil, and so here's the thing: they might be able to pump oil right now, but we have the Navy blockading their whole freaking country. Like it's not coming in or out.
God.
Pump all the oil you want; it's not going anywhere.
We'll just blow up your tanker. And there were drugs on it.
We just seized 2 more tankers in the Atlantic today that were trying to run away from us. Nope, that's our oil. And transfer 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. control, with proceeds managed by Washington, according to Trump. Yeah.
So we're not going to war. We're just holding them hostage.
Kinda.
We're just
financially.
We got the gun in their mouth, and we're like, you gonna pump that
seriously?
Oil for
Like,
us, or
what can you do with all your vast resources if it can't come in or out of this country because we control the air and the sea?
But okay, so let me just ask the obvious question. I thought the mission was to capture Maduro.
Mission accomplished, phase 2.
I was going to say, like, this is starting to look a lot like it wasn't about Maduro and that he was just the excuse we used to put our people there.
There's just an excuse. There were other excuses too, saying that, hey,
man,
China can't be taking the oil, Iran, they can't be getting oil, Russia can't be getting oil, like Russia, not oil
like,
for Russia.
Hey, we kidnapped your criminal president, but if you sell a fucking barrel of oil to China, I swear to I'll fucking beat you.
Who the fuck do you think you could sell your oil?
Is that a Chinese tanker I see coming?
Like you said the other day, there is oil and it exists, therefore it is ours.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Period. End of story.
That's the oil dominion.
This is one thing
that's
really
crazy.
I don't find a lot of things to like about this, but one thing I really like is if we now control this oil, maybe we can not fully cut ties with Saudi Arabia, but say, hey, shut the fuck up, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to put up with your terrorism. I don't need to put up with any of this shit. Like I got my own oil.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
That's crazy.
Matt Walsh, who I've become just disgusted with.
I don't like him anymore, dude. Sorry, Matthew.
This is a quote. This is war for oil! Exclamation mark. First of all, the war lasted like 90 minutes. Nobody's calling it a war.
No.
Second, going to war to secure vital resources for your own people's totally legitimate. Like, okay, I would say that, but it's not like we're starving for oil. We have plenty in the United States and we get it from other sources. Our people are not about to die because we don't have oil.
Correct.
So securing it for your own people, like that's pretty thinly veiled. All right, whatever. Why should we allow some third world communist shithole to control trillions of dollars worth of oil?
Because it's theirs.
Not anymore.
No, don't get me wrong. I kind of agree with what he says, but I kind of don't. Like, the reason is because it's theirs.
Yeah.
But if you're saying, Matt Walsh, if you're saying that we can just go take it because we would benefit from it, what this is doing is it opens up, like,
Yes. Keep going.
opens up any country ever to say, hey, that country's got something we need. Kind of like China's eyeballing Taiwan right now and being like,
exactly. I sure would like those chip manufacturing plants in Taiwan.
I would like the chips. And honestly, the U.S. just took oil from Venezuela. So we might as well just go to, like, what this does is it opens up doors for other countries and governments to say, meh, well, they got what we want, so I guess we better go get it.
That's exactly what it does. And people can't see 2 feet in front of their face. They don't think second, third, fourth order consequences, because those are going to be very real. We've lost any moral standing. Russia's looking at this right now like, you think I'm going to sign a peace agreement with Ukraine? Like, no, I'm going to take all their resources. These are my resources now. And you know what? I didn't even want that. I didn't even want Kiev, but I do now.
Yeah.
Because
you know why? Because Ukraine has it.
Yeah.
And I want
it. That's our oil.
That's my biggest fear, man, is that this is going to open up. I'm going to bungle the quote, but is it Xi Jinping? Is he the Chinese guy? The Chinese guy. He was quoted the other day, like a day after this happened in Venezuela, saying that, like, Taiwan is going to be taken by China. I'll find the quote.
And they are going to do it. And who's going to stop them? I mean, and why would we? Or how can we justify it?
It was a terrible Google. 7 days ago, Xi said, quote, reunification with Taiwan is unstoppable.
Yeah, they've been saying that forever. That's their
what
plan.
We've just done is we've signaled, hey, if you're a powerful nation and you can
take what you want,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Which I guess I could see maybe I'm grasping at straws. I'm grasping at straws trying to make this good, right? I could see maybe long-term, okay, like maybe the powerful countries maybe absorb some of the less powerful countries.
No, and I'll tell you why.
But that just leads to more war.
Exactly. So there was a certain way the world operated prior to World War II. And its powerful countries took whatever they wanted. People like Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro sit there and say that international law doesn't exist. Like, think Ben Shapiro says, international law is gay.
That was really good.
That was
really good.
Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
Thank you. So he sits there and says that, and yes, international law doesn't, I mean, it exists. There are standards, there's regulations, there's, UN treaties and all this stuff, things you're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who can enforce it, right? As with any law, right? And only the powerful can enforce those laws. But when the powerful decide that they don't want to obey those laws, what happens next? We saw the way that worked prior to World War II. Chaos. Powerful countries took whatever they wanted, and we saw what happened. Millions upon millions, tens of millions of people died. Probably, hundreds of millions of people died if you want to include the communists.
Sure.
Fall after that. I mean, hundreds of millions of people dead when powerful countries decided we can do whatever we want because who's going to stop us?
Do you think this is precursor to World War III?
It could be. And another good thing is if we did see, like, here's another thing that it would be nice if they told us, but they can't really tell us. What if they know there is a major conflict on the very near horizon, and we do need to secure more oil?
That was
we need more money, we need more resources, and we need them now.
That was kind of because, like, realistically, where do we get most of our oil from? Saudi Arabia, Iran.
We produce a ton of ourselves, but then yes, the Gulf.
Like, so
Iran, none.
If we're going to war with, let's just, again, this is all hypothetical, but, like, let's say we're gearing up for war with Iran. The strategic move would be, well, let's secure a source for energy that's closer and more accessible to us. And while we're at it, we might as well secure the richest source on the world so that if this really plays out to a war of attrition, we've got all of the oil we'll ever need. Yeah. Like, let's not, like, oil wins
There
wars.
is entirely possible that that's happening behind the scenes, and we're not privy to that information because immediately afterwards they pivoted to Greenland. Greenland's got a ton of natural resources, and now because of the ice melting in the northern poles there, that like it's opening up shipping lanes for Russia and China. So that's become more of a national security risk. And now they're talking about we're going to Greenland next.
Well, maybe Trump mentioning Greenland a year ago, he kind of jumped the gun a little bit.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
It's entirely possible, and that's a terrifying.
Because it's strategic, like militarily, like it's a great spot.
It's terrifying to think about that maybe they have information that something is going to happen. Well, and maybe they are preparing for that Chinese invasion of Taiwan. Like, we're going all in on this. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where it seems to be going. Just kind of setting ourselves up for success if it happens. Maybe it's not going to happen, but if it does, we need to be ready for it, kind of a thing. Holy moly!
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everybody. Have an extra cup of coffee today, because holy shit.
Let's wrap it right there.
Okay.
We'll come back next show. We're going to talk about Minneapolis. What's going on there?
Oh, next show.
Next show.
Oh, understand.
Yeah.
Quick break from our sponsors, though, real quick. Got to play the ad read.
Play the ad read.
Today's episode is brought to you by The Aftermath, a small batch grooming brand built right here in Phoenix by first responders who know the grind. Their products are made to keep up, from styling clays and sea salt sprays to detox shampoos, conditioners, and body washes that wipe away the grind. All crafted locally with clean ingredients and zero shortcuts. Check out theaftermath.co, that's theaftermath.co, and use code FIRESIDE for 20% off. The Aftermath, built for the grind.
All right, everybody. Next show, we're talking Nick Shirley, Minneapolis, Somalis.
Holy moly.
Let's talk about it next show.
All right.
All right, next time.
Fireside, fuck yeah, get some.